Today I wanted to share a high protein cereal recipe. Also, you can make a low carb, high protein recipe as well. A couple different things. Well, I came up with this idea when I was a vegetarian a while back, and I was like, protein. I need protein. It's hard to get it, and the meals that I used to eat just weren't as satisfying. I'm eating tons of vegetables and a lot of times fruits and things, and they're more high carb. And so it's like, how can I get something that tastes good? It's kind of like a cheat thing that's not super unhealthy, but I can get some more protein in. And I was like, oh, cereal. And I'm like, yeah, I stopped eating cereal such a long time ago because it's so high carb and it's sugar and it's processed food. And I'm like, but that would taste really good and that would be a way for me to get it. And I was like, well, what's a way that I could do it? And I thought of, well, I could make a protein shake as the milk. So I started doing that, and it definitely tastes different with different types of cereal. But you can get more plain things, and I'm going to share with you my recipe and what I've been doing recently, and make it your own flavor. So first of all, you have to have a protein powder that is flavored. You're not going to want to do this with the plain protein powder. I even make it with water and like a chocolate. I like chocolate, so I'll use a chocolate protein powder and water. Sometimes I also use soy milk, and soy milk has tons of protein. I don't know, soy or whatever. All right. I was drinking lots of soy milk when I was vegetarian, and lo and behold, I'm still a male. I didn't turn into a female. I don't know how that happened, but it did. I was drinking a lot of it. So anyways, sometimes I'll use soy milk, which has tons of protein in it as well. Sometimes I'll just use the soy milk. Sometimes I'll use soy milk with the protein powder. Sometimes I'll just use water and the protein powder. But that's going to be like my milk. I don't drink milk. I'm dairy gives me other problems, so I don't do normal dairy products. But if you can handle that and you do, that's fine. But making it more protein, right? The cereal's got tons of carbohydrates, tons of sugar, so you can level out the level of high carb with low protein. You want high carb, we want more protein. If you're going to build muscle, you're going to try to increase that amount of protein that's in something so that you can get the benefits of, muscle building for your goal. Well, you can take any cereal and apply that principle and find out your own, mix on things. You can take a vanilla and mix it with a normal cereal. I really liked Honey Nut Cheerios. So Honey Nut Cheerios with a more vanilla base, to me, tasted good. I also like it with chocolate honey nut. So anyways, you figure out what you can do, or you can do something that is much lower carb. And this is something that I just got turned on to recently, is I've been using puffed millet cereal. I'll put links to these things in the description. And I get it off of Amazon, and it's very bland. It doesn't taste like much, but it's that consistency of a cereal. It's very light, it's puffed, but it has not nearly the same amount of carbohydrates that you'd find in a traditional cereal. So what I've done recently is I've done puffed millet with honey on top of it. Again, I like the Honey Nut Cheerios, so it's kind of a honey nut thing. And then I'll put the protein cereal or the protein powder mix with either soy milk or water into that and pour that on top, and you get this nice little meal. I've also got turned on to this stuff called 7 Sundays granola. It's a brand, 7 Sundays, and it's got like this granola, and they have a low carb version of it where it's just nuts, basically just nuts, and they kind of flavor it with some cocoa powder, so it's chocolate. So what I do is I put a base of the puffed millet, put the 7 Sundays nut granola mix on top, which that has more protein and again is very low carb. So I have that, and then I use either soy milk or the protein powder mix into all of that, and I don't have to use the honey on it because it's sweet enough. It's very, very tasty. If you don't have a protein powder that tastes good, that makes these things difficult. If you're like, oh dude, my protein powder, I just take it because I need the protein, I need that extra meal, but I hate the taste. Tough. But if it's sweet, and a lot of times they over sweeten these things, I've found that to be advantage with something like the puffed millet, because the puffed millet is not sweet in itself. So that dynamic of mixing it all together, I've found is really, really good. And it gives me that same sort of mouth sensation. I know I've talked about this previously with things like coffee, and in the morning, and putting all these different, sweeteners and things in. We should be, very careful with that, because that can then lead to, I want to have that same sort of mouth pleasure at every meal. And I think it should be nutrition first, mouth pleasure second. And that's how you'll start to make things that are nutritionally sound taste better. And there's ways of doing that. But if you focus on taste first, nutrition second, sooner or later that nutrition side starts to fall off the wayside. I know that because I've done that myself. And you just start concocting ways of making things taste good instead of making things actually nutritionally sound. So that's how I came up with it, was by focusing on, hey, I wanted to get a meal that had lots of protein in it. And I wanted it to be something different than what I was eating. I was eating all the same stuff, fruits and vegetables and tofu and beans. And I was like, I need something else. And so I said, okay, well, cereal doesn't have any animal products in it. I'm not vegetarian anymore, but at the time I was. And I was like, well, I've been drinking soy milk. And I've been doing soy milk with my protein shake, right, to get a little bit more protein in there and not have the dairy stuff. So I'm like, well, what else can I do? And I was like, oh, I can combine those two, because cereal has way too much sugar and way too much carbs. But if I can increase the protein, it'll balance it out for me, and it won't be just the sugar and no protein. It'll be a little bit more balanced. Then now I've been getting more into more natural stuff. I'm not getting the Honey Nut Cheerios. I'm not getting the Fruit Loops. I'm not getting the other traditional cereals that you'd see, because I don't want to eat the processed food. So I'm going, okay, well, how can I still get that extra meal and extra protein and spice it up a little bit, because I've been eating the same things and sometimes I like some variety. I tend to be someone that can just eat the same thing over and over again, but sometimes you need other. And then I also need more calories. That's one of the problems that I have. When I eat too healthy, when I eat very, very healthy, I can be very rigid and very strict, and I just don't tend to get enough for my goals. Again, my goal on building muscle, I'm going to need the calories, but especially I'm going to need the protein. So to do that, I found, again, I got lucky. Made a video about Djokovic, and I was studying Djokovic's diet, and one of the things that they said he was eating was puffed milk. And I have no idea if he's actually eating that or not. You get these sources on things, but so I was like, okay, I can do the puffed millet. And then I ate it plain one time, and I was like, this is even too bland for me, and I can go really bland with my food. So I said, what can I mix it up with? Added some honey. All right, well, that's increasing the sugar. Okay, I can do my protein cereal like I did before. And then all of a sudden we've got this nice, tasty meal where I've got the base of the puffed millet. I've got the 7 Sundays kind of chocolatey granola mix on top, which tastes great. And then I can even bump the protein up even more by adding a protein shake into that. So anyways, I thought that would be something to add to your Rolodex of things to eat. Sometimes people just don't have enough ideas, and they get frustrated and they go back to their old ways. And so having more options for yourself and being able to be flexible and still get to your goals, for me, is paramount. If we don't have that flexibility, if you're constantly eating the same things, you're probably going to burn out at some point. And so I'm really, really stoked that I found something that I enjoy eating, that allows me to get protein in, and it doesn't give me this crap on the back end in regard to too much processed stuff. Too much sugar kind of affects me. Again, dairy, all right, gluten, all those things, wheat products for me, those things set me off. So it's like, well, how can I still get some variety without just eating a sandwich, all right, bread, eating the traditional cereal, not that great, so I'll share with you the ingredients that I've been using, because you can get those things. I got the 7 Sundays granola mix at Costco, so I know that they sell that, at least by me. But you can get that online as well. I'll share those links to Amazon for you. But just another idea to throw in there for you, especially if you're someone that likes cereal. I was obsessed with cereal as a kid. But again, when I was a kid, I was eating wheat products, gluten, and I was eating dairy, I was eating milk, and my skin suffered, my digestion suffered, my energy suffered. And so today, I don't have to take that hit. I have options for myself. And that's the only reason why I posted this video today. It's like, hey, share this with people, right? I don't spend a lot of time on social media looking up these different things, because I've shared before in the past that spending a lot of time on social media for me, it's not good for my mental health. We were just talking about it this morning with kids, and it was just interesting how someone sent me this thing from the news. He's like, I went home and I literally, the first thing that was on the news was smartphones and social media relation to kids' mental health. He's like, dude, it was like, we were just talking about that 5 minutes ago. And so anyways, it was on my mind. And so I thought, you know, or not, that wasn't on my mind. That was on my mind earlier today. In regard to spending time on social media, I don't know if these ideas have been shared. I definitely haven't shared them on my channel, so I'm sharing them with the people that might stumble upon my videos. And it's just, again, another way that you can get some more protein in. If you have goals of building muscle and you like cereal, there you go. There's a win. So anyways, that's it for today. Until next time, I'll see you then.